Hey, Jonathan.
Hello, how are you? Whoops, not yet. There we go. Eileen. Hi,
Hey,
Mike.
Mike.
Paul's going to be joining too.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How is everyone?
So far, so good.
Good.
And I think I think it's Michael and Paul are the last two, and I can share. We're going to go through the deck that we had kind of gone through with approvals of how we presented the rates when we got them approved. So I think that'll be an easy way to. So when Paul joins, I have that.
Yeah, and look, I think there's two primary questions. One is sort of just a refresher on, and keep me honest here, but the admin and overhead that gets factored into the 112 rate, just kind of making sure that I totally understand that. And then the other is how do we reconcile when we're trying to get to a point where we can exchange resources to help each other with deliveries going forward on the legacy every side. How do we know what to use for their burden rate?
Hi, Paul. You want
And
it?
explain that the pretty massive delta between the 52 that they're using, which I did get some insight into how they're calculating that. It's a very simple calculation versus the 112 on our side. Obviously, I mean, that's more than double. So.
Hang on, Mike. Hang on. 112 is the fully burden rate, not
Right.
not the rate that's in SAP for your folks.
Yeah, understood. I mean, it's 90, right? But still, I mean, they're giving me 52 and we're saying 90, which is, if I understand correctly, that's salary and benefits. Is that right?
Yeah, we can walk through how we calculate.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah, let's walk through
it.
that's actually
So
not the
sharing?
deck that I
Jonathan,
wanted.
are you
Hold
sharing?
on. Yeah, but I'm sharing the wrong one. Hold on one sec.
All right, could you start at the very beginning,
You got it.
Jonathan?
Here we go.
Nope. That's
No, that wasn't the right one. There we go.
all right. Go to slide 2, please. Okay, so what we do, Justin, how are you, bud? We've chatted before. What we do is we start with 2,080 hours for everybody. That's 40 hours a week times, 52 weeks a year. And then we back out the statutory holidays, vacation, assumed vacations, any sick time, any floating time, the hours that we give for training, any overhead. Overhead is defined like, let's say you got to do some HR training or something like that. That would be overtime, and then any other adjustments we have to come up with a assumed number of direct chargeable hours for the year. So each region has a different number of hours that we assume that people are going to work. Okay, and then on the next page, what we do is this is the actual calculation where we take the payroll, wages, employee benefits, all the payroll and benefits for someone that's in the budget. That's our budgeted number of dollars, and it also includes both people who are on board and any TBHs that we're going to hire throughout the course of the year. And then we also include any training, any other personnel expense, and we include incentive compensation and STI and the STI piece. You see that negative number in that column. What we do is we move stuff around. So we come up with an incentive comp. So our auditors told us for our rates that hit either the margin or hit the balance sheet for a while, we can only include labor. They cannot include other costs that we've done in the past, like with occupancy or licenses or any other those types of housing type of costs that are in that you would think would be linked to headcount. So that's what we do, and then to come up with the numerator, and then the denominator is based on the number of chargeable hours per employee per region that we have. And Mike, this rate includes both your team as well as this VLT Systems Services group. So we start with what the head count is. We say that the non-charge head count are people who either don't charge their time or charge a fraction of their time, whether that's 25% or 80% to projects, and we come up with a direct labor head count, and then multiplied by the number of chargeable hours. That's equals direct hours. So the numerator of labor dollars divided by direct hours will give you the labor rate. And that's how we do it.
Okay, just to level set here, look, I'm coming into this conversation way down the line. I don't even know what group of resources we're talking about. I was
So, Justin,
whole spot. How do we put overhead rate, right? So I just want to,
So this group is the Casino Systems Delivery Team. And the VLT System Delivery Team. So these are the folks that install product for customers who have ordered, a Casino Systems Advantage X, whatever.
yeah,
Right.
all right. So yeah, just to make it so simple, we're kind of somewhat similar in our overhead. I mean, we have a 20% overhead rate. It's really just taxes and benefits. We don't go to the incentive comp level. Pretty easy the last couple of years because we haven't had any. So, but and we're not allocating any other overhead such as rent and some of those other things.
Yeah, we don't either.
So it's just a 20%. I mean, same thing, 2,080 hours, all understood. So it really comes down to then the employee base, right? That was under this group. I don't know the specific departments, but I think Spada had really driven that part of the exercise. So I don't know if it's just a wage difference between the two employee sets or what it is, but
Did you say you did add in employee benefits?
just as far as the disparity in the $100 and something you guys are stating versus.
No. We're at $90 in the U.S.
Okay, well, whatever it is, it's almost double of what was the number on the fintech side? Was it like 50 something bucks or 40 something bucks?
We're at like $52, $53 an hour.
Okay. And what departments are those, Spada?
That was specifically looking at the compliance operations team. If you blended everything that Mike was showing, it was actually a lower dollar rate because it included some of the support folks that had a lower hourly comp. And so if we want to stick to the higher barometer, it was really just the project managers and the actual delivery arm, so the implementation folks.
Excluding. That's what we're trying to get to is a labor rate of people that are actually going out, and that's more the technical side and installing these things versus the more.
Yeah, well, it looks like this is all in, right? And so even when we added everybody together, including the leadership, it was still a lower dollar amount because the support groups brought it down. So When we were looking at the $52 or $53 an hour, it was more of a project manager and technical delivery. But when we looked at the holistic org, like is shown here, the dollar amount was lower.
Can you make, do you include your management team in your rate?
I did it both ways. So, I mean, I don't really see anything like this on a consistent basis. So anything that we have to do is calculated on my end. So it's just a blended hourly plus 20%. So I can include leadership and I can exclude leadership. Again, even when I'm including leadership, our dollars were like $54, $55 an hour. So it was a pretty large delta between what you guys are showing here.
Do you include? Oh, go ahead, Paul.
What's your denominator? How many hours are you assuming in are chargeable in a year for a period? And that could be part of the difference too. That you get if you like in the U.S. we're using 732 hours.
Yeah, I don't think we've gone in and backed out the PTO and the holidays and all that stuff that you showed. That's probably what it is, right?
Right.
And what
So
about
you
the
have-
employee benefits? Are you guys doing that from a regional standpoint? Since
No, it's just just on the consolidated, but it's 20%. It's roughly 7.5% taxes, and the rest is like benefits, your medical, dental, all the
right,
401, right?
mm-hmm.
I think our number's bigger though, right? I mean, if you take 31,795 and subtract the 23,847 from it, you're looking at a difference of 33%. So if you're only adding 20%, we're adding 33. That's a big chunk as well.
Yeah. And so you're saying your benefits is the overhead's about 33%. Where are you seeing that number?
Our benefit.
So-
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, if you take the total labor dollars of 31,795,000, and so just subtract out the payroll wages of 23,847, take that difference and divide it by the 23,847. That's 33% increase.
Yeah, I mean, you get the short-term incentive, you get some other comp, I don't know what the other personnel expenses. So there's a little bit of extra expenses in there that either we don't have or we just historically haven't really baked into our overhead
So-
rate. Those things are never guaranteed, right? Even if we accrue 100% incentive, it's not, it's never been like super important or material to our business. I mean, we could get there certainly, but.
Well, I just wonder if just for an apples to apples exercise, if you took your payroll wages and added 33%, and then divided by 1732, where does your number end up?
Mike, where do you get the 33%? Because our benefit rate is 25%. So all of our benefits are 20.
Yeah.
Saying 33% because you're adding in STI and all that other stuff.
Right. Yeah, right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just took the 31,795,000, right?
Yeah.
Subtracted out the 23,847.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
That gives you 7.9 million. Then divide that by the 23,847.
Yeah. I got your math. Okay.
So I mean, if you guys do your math and take your payroll wages, add the 33%, divide by 1732, and your number comes out somewhere close to 90, then we know, sure, there might be a little bit of a difference because salaries are higher or lower on one side or the other per person on average, but if they come out close, then I think we've got our answer. We know that there's just more being baked into the overhead, if that's what you want to call it, the benefits plus, and then the billable hours being used is the other difference. And if that's true, then I'm satisfied.
That makes sense. Potter, do you follow that? Do you need help? because I don't have the data, but
No, it's pretty straightforward, right? I think the biggest piece is the chargeable hours, right? We're just taking 2080 across the board. We're not that big.
Yeah, no, that makes sense though. Yeah, if you just take that and do the 1732 and then see where we get.
In the U.S., if I take our number, 31,795 divided by 2080 hours per employee, Mike, I get $68. And then the difference is that fringe difference.
Yep. Fringe, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah, because if you took 23, 847, 210 times 1.2 divided by 2080.
Well, you got to multiply that number by 205 times 2080, which comes to like 466,000 hours.
Oh, because of the number. Well, I was just taking the payroll wages, right? 23
Wages
847
times 1.2
Yep.
divided by 466,000 hours.
$61. Yeah. All right. So I guess it's just a matter of figuring out at some point, and I don't know where that happens, when that happens, if that happens. But Mike spotted this really just becomes an issue when we have to, or when and if we want to be able to leverage each other's resources on projects when it goes to deals desk, right? Because they want to know what the margin is on the labor that gets included. So that's not happening today, but we'll just have to decide. And for those on the finance side, I'm not sure if you guys already have a work stream where you're trying to bring those things together or not, but
Nobody has shared that timeline with me. I don't know about you guys on the every side. I would think the issue becomes more complex because right now we're two separate legal entities.
right.
And if we're going to use every resources on an IGT contract, in theory, every would have to bill IGT for some amount to make the tax man happy, and then you'd have elimination and all this other stuff. So nobody has shared that integration stream with me.
Yeah, I think we're pretty far timeline away from being able to do that. Far. I mean, we're months, right, in terms of an order of magnitude. I think from being able to leverage that, there's substantial upskilling that would need to occur between it. And I mean, look, to be honest with you guys, right, like the deals desk that's legacy IGT operates and looks at some of this margin analysis in a completely different way than the legacy every desk does. And so the granularity is really one-sided, right? I don't know what that combined deals desk is going to look like. Maybe it's to this level of granularity, maybe it's not, but it's certainly different than how we looked at it. And so I think to Mike's point, if the deals desk formulates the margin analysis in a specific way, then yeah, that's fine. But it's not an overly difficult calculation to come to. Like I was just able to pull it, right? So if we took just for the compliance team, for instance, added 33% on top of what the annual salary is, although I agree the employee benefits is listed as a smaller, margin amount there, multiplied it by the number of folks that are in there with the 1,732 hours, you're at like $66. So it's much closer.
Yep. No, I think we've answered the question, guys, which is why were the numbers different? And I think we know the answer now. And so we'll just have to make sure if we get to a point in the near to medium term that we've got to bring this together, that we're all on the same page in terms of how to educate the people that need to know it. So I'm good. I appreciate you guys coming together and settling this.
Cool. Great.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right.
Nice meeting you guys. Talk soon.
Same. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.